to this computer. Welcome everybody. This is the DVMUG Zoom meeting for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. We have sort of a short show for you, 4 videos, only 1 news item. And so we'll go ahead and move on. First, move forward. Yep. That was the only news item we got. So there was security updates for, it doesn't look like absolutely everything because I don't see tvOS in here, but also supposedly not in this list was Ventura and Sonoma. So do check all your devices for OS updates. Comments and questions about that?
Apparently there was some malware that was able to worm its way through that would actually grab your password, according to MacBreak Weekly.
Yeah, it required physical possession of your phone with a cable.
Ah, okay. What about your Mac though, and your watch?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is due. It's a security update. Okay. These are our videos. One thing I was waiting for, I was hoping to get another video in here or something. The iPhone SE 4 was highly rumored to be released today. There wasn't a peep about it, but it's coming in the next few days, or at least next week, or max 2 weeks. And I think this is going to be a big deal. It's based on the iPhone 14. So Face ID, no home button, USB-C, 48 megapixel camera. Have enough RAM and disk space to run Apple Intelligence. And a new Apple modem, not a Qualcomm modem for the first time, Apple's own modem, which will be the first of its kind. And the price will probably go up from $429 to $499. But I think this is what everybody, I mean, the iPhone SE has not changed for so long. So questions or comments about that?
Well, there's one possible fly in the ointment, and that is if these tariffs go into effect, it may add another $50.
Yeah, but I think those are already here, I think. I don't know.
Well, if there's a 10% tariff, it'll add another $50. So yeah. then it'll go to $550.
Maybe that was the holdup. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was going to come today. Not a peep. Okay, we ready for a video? Here we go. How to use Find My on my iPhone and my iPad.
Find My helps you locate lost devices and items, share your location, and more. Here's how to use the Find My app on your iPhone and iPad. First, we'll show you how to turn on Find My. And then we'll show you how to share your location with friends and family, locate a lost Apple device, locate and share an item with an AirTag attached, and customize your options in Find My, including sending your location via satellite. When you sign into iCloud with your Apple account on a new device, Find My turns on automatically. And if your AirPods, Apple Watch, or Beats wireless headphones are paired with your iPhone, they're automatically set up too. But you can check to make sure Find My is on in Settings. Tap your name, tap Find My, and tap Find My iPhone or Find My iPad, depending on your device. Then, tap to turn on Find My iPhone or Find My iPad if it isn't already on. Now, let's check out all of the features you can use with Find My, starting with sharing your location with friends and family. Start in the People tab of Find My. If anyone is sharing their location with you, Their name will appear here. To share your location with someone else, tap the Add button and tap Share My Location. Type in a name or choose a suggested contact. And then tap Send and follow the prompts to share your location with your friend. Find My can also help you find a missing Apple device, like your iPhone, iPad, or Mac, as well as accessories like your AirPods or Beats wireless headphones. If you don't have an Apple device to use Find My, you can sign in to iCloud.com/find on any mobile device or desktop browser. Otherwise, you can use the Find My app on another Apple device that is signed in with your Apple account. In the Devices tab of Find My, there will be a list of all of your devices with Find My enabled, as well as any devices belonging to people in your family sharing group, and a map with their last known locations. Select a device and swipe up on the handle to view your options. If your device is nearby, powered on, and connected to Wi-Fi or cellular, but you can't find it, you can tap Play Sound, and your misplaced device will chime. Or you can tap Directions, so you can get help locating your device in Apple Maps. If your device is far away or in an unfamiliar location, you can tap Lost Mode and follow the prompts to mark it as lost. This will display your phone number and a message, so that if someone finds your device, they can return it to you. Once you mark a device as lost, you can get a notification when its location becomes available. Think your device is lost for good? You can erase it remotely by tapping Erase this device. In iOS 15 and iPadOS 15 and later, you can continue to use Find My to get help locating your device even after you erase it. If you find it, you can restore your data if you have a backup. With Find My, you can also get help locating an item with an AirTag attached, like your backpack or a bicycle. You can even share its location with friends and family. In the Items tab of Find My, a list of all your AirTags and accessories supported by the Find My network will appear on a map, which shows their last known locations. Select an item and swipe up on the handle to view your options. If your item is nearby but you still can't find it, you can tap Play Sound and it will chime. Or you can tap Find to get help finding the precise location of your item with an AirTag attached. You can share an item with someone so they can view its location in Find My on their device too. Just tap Add Person, tap Continue, and type in a name or choose a suggested contact. The person you share an item with must be signed into their Apple account and use iCloud. Tap Share to send the invitation. Your friend's iPhone, iPad, or Mac must be using iOS 17, iPadOS 17, or macOS Sonoma or later to accept it. If your item is far away or in an unfamiliar location, you can tap Show Contact Info and follow the prompts to mark it as lost and add your contact information, so if someone finds it, they can return it to you. You can also tap Share Item Location and follow the prompts to allow a trusted person or supported airline to view the location of the item for a specified amount of time. In the Find My app, you can also rename your current location, temporarily turn off location sharing, send your location via satellite, and more. In the Me tab of Find My, swipe up on the handle to view your options. You can create a custom label for your current location, and you can temporarily turn off location sharing without having to turn off Find My. If you're outside of cellular and Wi-Fi coverage, you can send your location via satellite to anyone you're already sharing your location with. The ability to send and receive a location via satellite is supported on iPhone 14 and later using iOS 16.1 or later. And that's how to use Find My to get help locating what's most important to you and stay connected with friends and family too. To learn more about your Apple devices, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube.
Okay. Comments, questions? Everybody should have this on their devices, absolutely. This keeps getting more clever. You can now, a lot of airlines support this. You put it on your bag, and then when it's lost, you can give them the info, share it with the airline, and they can use it to help find your bag.
Yeah, we did that in Miami one time. My question is, can you turn that on your watch? Can you turn Find My on a watch?
I don't have a watch. I don't know if there is Find My on my watch. They never mentioned that.
Yeah, Kenji, you're the watch guy. What do you say?
It works for people. I'm not sure about things.
They didn't mention the watch. They mentioned AirTag, iPhones, iPads, MacBooks.
My watch in settings has a find devices
Find other devices.
and allow find devices to use your location. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mine
you
does-
can't use your watch to find other devices, right?
I'm
No
looking
Find
for
My-
it. No,
no
yes, it
Find My-
does. Yes, it
Oh, it
does.
does.
iPhone 16 Pro, iPad M4, Rick's iMac,
Okay,
and MacBook Pro.
cool.
Yeah, it's all on my watch.
It also will look for air tags.
Yes.
Wow.
use my watch. I use my watch by saying, "Hey, hey, lady, ping my iPhone," and it starts pinging wherever it is.
Yeah, if you're on the regular clock face, for instance, you can swipe up and there's a little phone icon you can hit, which will sound your phone, and vice versa. But yeah, I was just curious. I have a very old watch, and I guess it doesn't have that capability because I did that and it says no devices found.
How old is your watch, Mike?
I don't know. It's got a sundial on it. Does that help?
Yeah, that goes back to the Roman days.
I don't know. How would I figure out what? Let's see. General about. It's a model. Let's see. Version
No, no,
8.81.
not that I have a watch or anything. I just wanted to know because it's sounding more and more interesting. You can do mostly everything from your watch nowadays, I guess.
I guess nothing else. My watch is hampered by the fact it doesn't have its own Wi-Fi. It just backs up to my phone. So if it's not there, it's not there. It's not connected.
One of
I'm
the
just
things I
curious.
One of the things I learned the other day, I was going crazy trying to change one of the complications on one of my faces on the watch. And
Mhm.
doing it from the watch, I couldn't do it. I've done it before. So I called Apple and they reminded stupid me, well, open the app on your phone and easy peasy on the phone.
Hmm.
Yeah, isn't that embarrassing when you do that? You call them
Yeah.
up. Well, blah
No.
blah. You go, oh crap! I knew that.
But one other thing that Apple did, they could share the screen on my watch.
Really?
There's that little red arrow floating around in there.
Wow.
I was really surprised on that one.
I wonder what they use.
Probably messages or an equivalent of messages, because you can share screen using messages.
Yes, something we discovered the other day. It works wonders, by the way.
Yeah,
Thanks again for that.
sure.
Oh, yes, I just tested it. I can find my watch from my phone, and I can find my phone from my watch.
Okay, but Kenji, can you find your other device, like say your laptop, from your watch?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Because like
Okay.
I said, mine, you just swipe down and there's a little icon or up, you can swipe up and there's a little icon.
Anything else? Should we move forward? Okay. How to use AirPlay to stream video or mirror the screen of your iPhone or your iPad.
I got one question.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If you have, what's the story with sharing your location?
You push
And
share and
anybody,
you push share and they have to have an Apple ID and then they get an invitation and they get to choose whether or not they accept.
okay.
And
Yeah.
then they
I have,
get to choose whether to share back to you so you can see them and vice versa.
And I think there's a time on, you can set a time on there too,
Yeah.
set a time on what?
on how
long it
long you
lasts.
share. For instance, if you want to share with a traveling companion, you want to share for 2 days, or you want to share while you're at the airport,
Oh,
you can find each other as opposed to the rest of your life.
so should I have share my location turned on all the time or just when I lose
No,
something?
you have to leave it on all the time
Oh,
or it
okay.
won't work.
Other-
If you want to
Well,
share it
I
all the
was just
time.
thinking if I could turn it on if I lose something. Is that not
No,
true?
no. When you turn it on your phone, that's to share your location of your only for your phone.
Yeah. So if you turn it off and then lose your phone, won't show up on Find My.
Yeah, you
Or
need to have it on your phone. Well, on your phone, when you share with somebody, you get to choose, forever or 15 minutes or whatever.
yeah.
That's different than Find My. Find My is when you lose your device. You don't have to share anything. It goes just to Apple.
Oh, I'm just talking about Find My. I've
Find
got
My, you
Find.
turn it on and then you can find your stuff when you lose it. Find My is different than Share. Share is part of Find
So
My.
I'm using the word share because in Find My, the third thing down is share my location.
Right. Has nothing to do with Find. If you turn on Find My, you will be able to find your lost phone from another device, not shared with anybody else. When you share your location, it asks you to choose somebody to share your location with, and they get an invitation, which they need to accept, and then they can open up their Find My and see people and see where you are all the time.
Okay, I guess I just don't get it.
Well, there are three tabs at the bottom of Find My. There's people, meaning you want to share your location with another person or share their location back to you. There's devices, which is like phones, computers, and then items is AirTags, is how you've named AirTags.
Okay, well, I've got an SC, so I don't have any of that. I'm just thinking if I turn off share my location, and then I lose my phone, will that be a bad thing?
No, share location has nothing to do with Find My. Share your location
Your
is where
location
are
is
you? You wanted to have somebody else be able to see where you are,
right.
you the person.
Okay, I'm looking at the screen. It has Find My at the top. And then third down is share my location.
Yes. That's only to share your location with other people who you invite to do that.
Those are two different things, Carol. Find Mine is there to find stuff, and then the third one down is to share your location with other people, I
That's
believe.
that's
The reason it's called Find My is Find My applies only to your own devices on your account. Share My location is to get someone other than your account to be able to see your device.
okay. I can't imagine losing my iPad somewhere, but I suppose it's possible.
The other reason you turn on Find My is if you do lose your device and somebody else gets a hold of it, they can't erase it and use it. They need your Apple ID to turn off Find My to do that. It's locked. You always want to have Find My on your
Yeah,
iPhone and
that's
your
not my
iPad.
question. I just wonder if I have to have Share My Location on all the time.
No, that's a feature. There's the Find My app that has all this stuff in it. Share My Location is one of the features inside. If you would like to share your location with another person, that's what that's for.
All right.
If you don't need it on. Apparently, if it's green, it's on and you have shared with somebody. And it should be in the list under people of who you shared with.
I don't see a list.
Under people.
I don't see people.
If you pull up on that little bar, you don't see people on the bottom left
I
of
don't
your.
see any little bar.
Okay, you've opened Find My, correct?
Yeah.
And at the bottom of the page, there's not two little icons of people there.
Oh.
What
Would you-
version of iOS are you? Are you looking at your phone or
Oh, my phone.
it doesn't look like this?
Hold it closer.
Can't hold
On
it. Sure,
the
it'll
bottom,
disappear.
you don't have 4 buttons. People, devices, me.
No, you mean in the app Find My? I have no.
Yes, you have a
No, I don't.
map
I've
at the
got an
top.
FE. I've got the latest version. Maybe it's just not on here.
Maybe we should put this off for the
We're
Q&A.
gonna do Q&A and share screen.
Because
All right.
right now the screen is taken up by the video.
Okay, we're gonna move on. You can save your question for share the screen later because something's not right.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
With AirPlay, you can share your favorite TV show, a presentation for work, those family vacation photos, and more to another screen, right from your iPhone or iPad. We'll start with an overview about AirPlay. Then we'll teach you how to stream a video and how to mirror your iPhone or iPad screen. First, we'll talk about AirPlay and the difference between streaming and screen mirroring. AirPlay uses Wi-Fi to share content from your device to your Apple TV, Mac, or compatible speakers and smart TVs. You can either stream content directly from your iPhone or iPad, or use screen mirroring to display everything on your screen without using cables or adapters. Streaming with AirPlay means that you can display content like videos, photos, and other media from compatible apps on your device to another screen. You can keep using your iPhone or iPad while content plays on the other display. And you can control it as well, like playing and pausing or fast forwarding and rewinding. But when you use screen mirroring with AirPlay, you can share exactly what is on the screen of your device on another display. Everything that appears on your device will be mirrored on the display in real time, including content in apps, new messages, notifications, and more. Before you start using AirPlay, you'll need a compatible device like your Apple TV, Mac, or AirPlay-compatible smart TV. And make sure your iPhone and AirPlay device are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. To stream a video from your iPhone or iPad, tap the screen or pause button to show the video controls, and tap the AirPlay button. But depending on the app you're using, you might need to tap another button first, like Share. Then, select the device you want to use with AirPlay. We'll choose our Apple TV. If you're streaming to an AirPlay device that isn't signed into your Apple account, a code might appear on the display. Type in the code on your iPhone or iPad and tap OK. Once it's connected, just tap the play button to begin watching. Now you can enjoy your content on the other screen and keep using your device while your video plays. Awesome! Your iPhone or iPad can also stream video automatically to devices you regularly use with AirPlay. To do this, from Settings, tap General, and then tap AirPlay and Continuity. Tap Automatically AirPlay, and you can choose between several options. Never means you'll need to manually tap the AirPlay button and choose a device for AirPlay every time you stream content. Ask means you'll receive notifications with suggested AirPlay devices you can choose to stream your content to. But we'll choose Automatic, which means your device will automatically stream to your frequently used AirPlay device. You'll still get a notification to confirm you want to stream content, but you can dismiss or ignore it and tap the play button without switching to a different device. If you'd like to show your entire iPhone or iPad screen on another display with AirPlay, you can use screen mirroring. Just open Control Center, tap the screen mirroring control, and select the device you want to mirror to. This is also where you stop mirroring. If you're screen mirroring to an AirPlay device that isn't signed into your Apple account, a code might appear on the display. Type in the code on your iPhone or iPad and tap OK. Everything you do on your device will appear on your other screen. Let's check out a photo. When you tap to view a photo or video in the Photos app, it automatically appears in full screen on your other display. But if you're mirroring content from other apps, you can change the screen orientation on your device for the best viewing experience. This is beautiful. And that's how you can share content to another screen with AirPlay. To learn more about your Apple devices, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel, or
Okay. Comments, questions?
Judy and I found that very helpful, screen mirroring, when we do crossword puzzles together. She
Mm-hmm.
pulls them up on her iPad, screen mirror to the big screen TV, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah, sometimes you cannot stream content because it's protected. Like certain, copyright protected videos you watch and they won't let you stream to the big screen.
And we've also found it very helpful in those rare occasions where people actually want to see your vacation pictures.
Uh-huh.
Carol, you were waving your hand. Was that just
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have can I do screen mirroring with a Samsung TV?
Does your
If
TV
it
hook up to
has- it
Wi-Fi?
has to- I think it has to have the Apple TV app on it.
No.
No? I think she said it has to be an
Yes.
Apple TV compatible TV.
Then it's good to go.
So it's got
Carol, you have a Roku, so you don't even have to worry about that. Just mirror your machine right through Roku. It works.
My other TV doesn't have the Roku though. I just use the smart TV features.
Oh,
And it's
they can track you like mad through that.
But does it have the Apple TV app on it? A lot of smart TVs have it now.
Oh.
Okay, can you add it?
I don't
Are
know
you
what
able
it
to
does.
add the Apple TV?
It would probably come with it.
I would have to look at my apps.
Yeah.
No, the smart TV
Oh,
should be able to download other apps, just like a Roku or a Fire
There you
TV
go.
stick can download apps. And I just look for what I need on my Fire TV stick, and apparently there's an app called AirScreen.
Carol, if you just if you just go to set it that you want to stream or you want to mirror, and if the device shows up, you can do it. If the device doesn't show up, you can't, except with another device.
Okay.
Well, as long as it's on the same network, it should show up. If it's on a Wi-Fi, it should show up.
If
Bingo.
it's compatible.
All it
If
has
it's
to do is be able to
compatible.
connect to Wi-Fi. Our TV in the living room, that's its only perk, is it can connect to Wi-Fi. We change the input to go from TiVo to cable to nothing, and then that's the setup, and that's when we hit screen mirroring, and it works like a champ.
Hmm.
I'll give it a try later.
Okay, let us know.
So is it connecting Bluetooth? Huh. Got to connect somehow.
Yeah.
Shall we move on? Okay.
Sure.
Why doesn't my Apple TV device have this feature?
Wondering why you can't find a new feature on your Mac, iPhone, or iPad? Let me show you how to find out if your device is compatible. So whenever Apple introduces new features, there are often people who can't find those on their devices. This may be because your device isn't compatible. You could find out which features are compatible with which devices by simply looking on the Apple website. But the first thing you should check is whether you actually have the operating system that the new feature is a part of. For instance, if something is new to macOS Sequoia, check to make sure you have macOS Sequoia. If it's new to iOS 18, make sure you have iOS 18. Now I have to mention this because often I get people telling me they have the latest version of the operating system and they can't find the feature. And after some back and forth, it turns out they really didn't have the latest version. They thought they did, but when they checked again, they saw that they hadn't updated or hadn't completed the update. So it's important just to double check that because it happens quite often. On a Mac, you would just go to the Apple menu and About This Mac. And right there at the bottom, it'll show you Mac OS and then the version that you've got. So check that carefully. So on the iPhone, you go into Settings, then General, then About. And it shows you the version of iOS there. The same thing on iPad OS. You go into Settings and then General and then About. Now once you're sure that is right, the next thing to do is check to see if that particular feature is compatible with your device. For instance, macOS Sequoia has a lot of features that while they are there for the latest Apple Silicon Macs, they aren't there if you have the same macOS Sequoia for an older Intel Mac. Let's start by looking at the iPad. If you go to Apple's site, you'll find a page for iPad OS. Getting to this page is usually fairly simple. Usually just searching for iPad OS in any search engine is going to very quickly show you, if you look, the iPad OS main page here. So if you go to that, you'll now have a page that lists all these new features. Now sometimes as you look at these features, you'll see little footnotes here, like this footnote for live audio transcription for iPad OS. And if you click on it, it'll jump you down to the footnotes, and then you can look at that footnote, in this case number 3, and see some compatibility notes. Now the problem with this page is it only shows you the main new features that Apple wants to highlight, and sometimes the notes don't have all the details. Instead, look for the PDF. It's usually called All New Features. Click on that and you'll go to this PDF document that goes into detail about all of the new features. Now you can search the PDF document really easily using Command F, and you see you're searching inside the document here. So let's search for transcript, and you'll see here transcripts and summaries. That's not what we want. So we'll go to the next one here, and there's live transcriptions. Let's say we wanted to see if our Mac was compatible with live transcription. And you can see there are 2 footnotes, 1 and 5. So let's go down to the bottom, and here are footnotes 1 and 5. Footnote 1 shows it's only available in certain languages. So if your iPad isn't set to one of those languages, then it's not going to work. Even if you happen to be in one of these countries, if you're not using that specific language in settings, it's not going to appear there. But also footnote number 5 specifies that you need to have certain models of iPad. So you want to pay particular attention to exactly what's shown there. And I'll show you how to look up which model you've got in a minute. By the way, if you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others who support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. So you can do the same thing for your iPhone. You can search for iOS 18 and end up at Apple's main iOS 18 page. And there are details here, but like with the iPad, you can go to all new features and go into this PDF. And let's say you're interested in the new messages over satellite feature. So let's search for satellite here, and there's messages via satellite. And you can see it's footnote 3. So here you can see the footnote for messages via satellite and see that it will be available, and you have to have an iPhone 14 or later for it. And you can see it's only on supported carriers as well. And here's the macOS Sequoia page that you could easily search for and find at Apple. Let's jump right into the PDF here. And let's say we're interested in iPhone mirroring and why that's not working on our Mac. So we'll do Command F here and search for mirroring. And there's iPhone mirroring, and that's footnote 3 here. So you can see here the requirements for iPhone mirroring, that you need Apple Silicon or an Intel Mac that has a T2 security chip in it. And some various other notes about what you'll need and when it may or may not work, including a note saying it's currently not available in the European Union. So it's important to think about when you look at these notes, the hardware you have, the region you have your Mac set to, and the language you have your Mac set to. All those could be issues that prevent a new feature from appearing. So how do you figure out which model you have? So in the iPad, you go into Settings, General, About, and then look for Model Name. Now, iPads are identified by generation number. So look carefully and you'll find something like iPad Pro and then a size like 12.9 and also a generation number. In this case, it's the iPad mini 6th generation. So you want to pay attention to all of that information when trying to match the model up with what you find in the footnotes. It's the same thing for the iPhone. You go into Settings, General, About, except there are no generations here. Every year of iPhone has a different number, like iPhone 14, 15, or 16, and then other information like Pro or Pro Max. Plus, also look for things like SE. Make sure you correctly identify the model when you compare that to the footnotes. On Macs, it's a little different. You would just go to the Apple menu and About this Mac, and then you just find the name there at the top of About. It'll have a name like Mac Studio or MacBook Air, and then also a year. Sometimes the year has a qualifier like early, mid, or late. So match that up carefully. And also you, of course, can note there the processor you've got. If it says M, like M1, M2, M3, or M4, then that means you have Apple Silicon. So if a requirement is for Apple Silicon, you should see M1, M2, M3, and so on listed here. Otherwise, if it says Intel, you've got an Intel processor which came before Apple Silicon, and there's a lot of things like Apple Intelligence that wouldn't be compatible with your Mac. Now, if you want, you can also identify models by the model number. Note that on the iPad and iPhone, you have to actually tap on the model number to get the shorter model number there that usually begins with the letter A. And then you can go to one of these 3 pages at Apple's site to identify the model you've got, the name of the model, with that number. So for instance, for the iPad, you can go to this page and then you can simply search for that number here. The same thing on the iPhone, you go to this page for the iPhone and you can search for that model number. For Macs, there are a lot of different types of Macs like MacBooks and Mac Studios and Mac Minis. If you go to this page, if you look, you'll find a list of links that then go to subpages for each type, and you can find the model number for each of those listed throughout this page. Just search through this page and you should be able to identify exactly which Mac you have by the model number. So you've made sure that you have the operating system needed for this feature. You've checked the hardware requirements and also the region and language requirements. Then the only other thing to check is sometimes features have on-off switches. For instance, on a Mac, if you go into System Settings, you'll see Apple Intelligence and Siri here, and you see that you can turn off Apple Intelligence. So in the case of Apple Intelligence features, if you don't see something, it may be because you've turned off this feature. Most features don't have an on-off switch like this, but it's worth looking into and doing a search in System Settings to see if there is one. And if you know you've got the right operating system, you know your hardware matches, your region matches, your language matches, you've looked for any other requirements in the PDF footnotes, and you've checked for switches and settings to make sure you haven't shut off the feature, The only other option you've got then, if you're still not sure why the feature isn't there, is to contact Apple support. You can start that by simply going to support.apple.com, and you've got different ways to get in touch. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
Okay, comments, questions? None? There's lots of stuff when they release new, isn't supported on older devices. Like you can upgrade the OS, but you don't get all the new features. It's pretty common. On an older computer that you won't get the new features, especially on the Mac. If you don't have an M processor and you still have an Intel processor, you can be on Sequoia, but you're going to miss a lot of features. Like all of Apple Intelligence. Same on the phone and the iPad. Anything else? Move on. Okay. This is new, brand new. Apple Invites. It's basically a clone of the Evites app on the internet, which we use for board meetings and stuff, and it has tons of ads in it. This has no ads. It's free. It only works in the newest iOS for iPhone. There's no iPad app, but you can use it on iCloud. So here we go.
Let's take a look at the new Apple Invites service. So Apple has a new app and service called Apple Invites. It's basically a way to invite people to an event, and then you can get RSVPs from them and update them about the event. So it's actually available in two ways. One is as an iPhone app. The other is as part of the iCloud.com website. So I'll start by showing you on the iPhone, but I'll also show you how you can do it on your Mac using iCloud.com. The most important thing you need to know is in order to create an event, you need to be using iCloud Plus. In other words, you need to have a subscription to iCloud. It could just be the 99-cent a month subscription to get a little more drive space. Anything that qualifies you for having iCloud Plus will allow you to create events. But to accept an invitation and an RSVP, you don't need iCloud Plus. As a matter of fact, you don't need to be using iCloud or an Apple product at all. So you'll find Apple Invites in the App Store. So you have to go to the App Store, you have to search for it, and then get it. Once you launch it, the first time you're going to get a little welcome screen, and then you get a screen like this, allowing you to create an event. When you go to create an event, you first get to add a background. So you get to choose from various different backgrounds that are shown here, or some basic colors, or add a photo, or just take a photo right now. So let's go and add something just like this, and there's the background. Then you get to add an event title. So let's call this one Birthday Party. And you can choose from one of 4 different fonts here. It tries to keep things simple so you can just quickly create an event. By the way, if you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. And then you can choose a date and time. So let's just pick a date here in the future. Let's choose the end of the month. And let's choose a time, let's say, starting at 8 o'clock. And you can include an end time as well by checking that off. You can also set it to just be an all-day event. So we'll just use this. And now we've got the date there. Then you could choose a location. So you could type the name of a business nearby or just an address. So I'll choose a nearby pub and then done. So now I've got those things right there. It has my name here taken from my Apple ID. I could tap here and add a description if I want. I can type something else for my name if I want, like if I have a nickname or whatever. And then I can also do a few other things at this point, or I can come back and do it later. One is I can create a shared photo album. So this, of course, would only work with other people using iCloud Photos, but I would be able to take photos and have them appear in the shared album. And so would other people who I've invited here. So it's just a fun way to have people take photos at the party and then have them all instantly shared with everyone else who is at the party. You can also do the same thing with the playlist using Apple Music. So anybody else that's using Apple Music could add songs to this playlist. So people could add a bunch of their favorite songs, and then you could just have that playlist on at the party. These are kind of neat bells and whistles, but you don't have to use them if you don't want them. So you can scroll through all this information and change it. Then you can go to preview here, and you can see a preview of what this will look like when people receive the invitation. Then you could tap next, and now here's where you invite people. So you can invite them either with a public link or individually. So with the public link, you would just have a link and you could post it anywhere, and anybody with that link could RSVP. You can decide whether or not you want to approve those guests. So somebody RSVPing doesn't necessarily mean they're added to the list. You would then have to approve each person. If you turn this off, anybody can RSVP. So great for a kind of public event where you just want to be able to invite anybody. And you could also invite individuals. So you could tap here and it will use your contacts. So now, for instance, I can invite this person here and I can send them an invite by message or by email, or I could just share the link here and then I could actually copy it here. So if I have some other way, some other app I use to message them, I could copy the link and send them that link. And anytime I can go back to the invite tab, I can see my invites here, the ones I'm hosting and the ones I've accepted RSVPs to. And I can go back in, I can tap the three dots button here and edit. I can go to event settings so I can add additional guests. And there's some interesting settings here. There's additional guests, so you can allow people +1s, for instance. You can change whether or not you're approving guests for the public link if you've done that. And there are a bunch of other things that you can do here. If you just want to invite more people, you can see here there's invite guests, and you go back to the screen and you can add more. If you want to send everybody who was RSVP'd a note, you can. You can just type a note here and send it out to them. You could also add this event to your own calendar. This works, of course, if you're hosting the party or if you've just accepted an RSVP. You tap here and it's going to add to your calendar. But what if you're not using your iPhone for this? What if you want to do it on your Mac or even your iPad? Well, you can. You just need to go to the web apps at iCloud.com. You log in with your Apple ID, and now one of the apps that you have here is Invites. And you have all the same functionality here. So here you could see the event that I created. I could create a new event here, and you can see everything is here just like before. I can choose an image. I could create the name, the time, the address. I can write a description right here, send it out, and invite people. It all works basically the same, just in a web browser. And you can switch back and forth. You can create it here at iCloud.com and then later manage invites on your iPhone or vice versa. Let's go back here to the event I created, for instance, and you can see I can manage guests here. And here's the public link for this, but I could also invite individuals. Let's give that a try. I'm going to invite with a sample email address that doesn't even have an iCloud account. I'm going to press return and it's going to add it there. And here is the link. So I could copy this link here and now I could send it to them any way I want. I could always go back here to get the link. It's a unique link for this person. So it knows who it is I've invited and to tie it back to this particular guest in my event. So to even demonstrate further how it will work for a non-iCloud user, I'm going to go outside of Safari, go into Firefox here. And this is what happens when I click on that link in a message or an email. It takes me to this page here, and it's going to ask me to verify my email. The idea here is you type the email address, the one you got the invite to, so it can verify that it's you. And then when I do that, it's going to send a code to that email address. So it's kind of like a double opt-in, making sure somebody can't forward that link on or post it somewhere publicly, and then all sorts of people can invite themselves to the party. Of course, if you're using an iCloud email address, you don't have to do this. It has them log in and it knows who they are. So here's that verification code. I'm going to copy it and paste it in. And now you can see it takes me to the special iCloud.com invites page. It looks like I'm logged into iCloud.com, but I'm not. If I click here, you can see all I can do is exit. And here I've got the RSVP control. So I can say, yes, I'm going. And I can respond. I can even add a message if I want. and then submit. So now if I go back to the page here where I'm host or to the app on the iPhone, if I go to manage guests, you can see it shows that this person is going. That's basically how it works. You need to have iCloud Plus to create an event, but to accept an RSVP, you don't need anything except a regular email address to be able to respond. So some of you may be wondering, why is Apple coming out with a service like this? Well, it used to be that there was one company that dominated this space, but then Facebook came in and kind of took over. But now a lot of people don't like to use Facebook. And sometimes those are exactly the kinds of people you want at your party. So an Apple invite service that doesn't require you to have an Apple account to RSVP could actually be a space where Apple could take over, or at the very least, just add a little extra value to getting an iCloud subscription. At the very least, it's a good alternative for now for having a Facebook account and having everybody else who's invited also have a Facebook account, and also not having to sign up for a completely different service, which may charge you or show you lots of ads. So it's worth taking a look at for your next big event. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
I think it's very good.
That sounds real interesting.
Yeah, if you ever use Evite, which is really popular, it's big old ad. When somebody gets an invitation, the big old ad dominates the email they get.
Yeah. I'm wondering, John, would you be able to use that with MailChimp, your mailing list from MailChimp?
Well, I guess you could import your MailChimp mailing list. I don't know. See, in Evite, you can import a whole list of people and choose who you want to invite.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't mention any of that for this.
Because I was thinking, like for instance, my Lafayette class, I have everybody in the class on that MailChimp list, but I don't really know who's who on there.
Yeah, you don't know what their real names are.
Yeah.
Which you don't need. All you need is an email address.
Right.
I guess you could if you could get all the names imported.
Yeah.
It picks the names from your contact list, actually. So you'd have to import those all into your contacts list and then put them in a group called Lafayette class or something. And then
Yeah,
maybe you
mailing
could
list or
just
something.
invite just that group. It's worth looking at.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it would have been nice at the Christmas party or something to be able to do
Oh,
that.
it's built for parties.
Exactly. Just to send out a
Or a picnic.
picnic. Exactly.
Yeah, it's real nice with Evite. That's what we would do for a board meeting or a dinner party. We invite the people and then they can say yes or no, and you can get a head count of who's coming.
Yeah, that would be good.
I don't know if that would exactly work for your class how you want, but definitely for a party.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm looking at my contacts now. I've got almost 1,100 contacts on my phone now.
Yikes.
I'm a bartender.
Did you import all your MailChimp contacts in there?
No.
Oh my.
I used to be a bartender. I got everybody who's ever come in my bar and wanted to send me something.
And most of them, I remember, we didn't have any names for MailChimp. Just email addresses.
That was a different list. That was from the Lafayette Community Center. That's a different list. All of mine have names.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to use it for the board meeting next month to get an RSVP on the crab feed.
John, I think Ann used it once.
It's brand new. It just came out this week.
I don't know what she used, but I had to RSVP to show up. So
yeah, that was Evite.
Evite.
We've been using Evite for years. To get a RSVP. This app just came out very quietly last week. Okay. I think that's it. That's it. For anything else for the program, or we'll stop and make a new recording for the Q&A? Okay, now I need to find how to. Okay, this will be DVMUG members who want to see the next session, which will be general Q&A for the DVMUG Zoom meeting for February 11th. We'll find the link on the BBS. Okay, stop.